So now I don't think I can bring you into the picture yet. But
That's
for
fine.
those of you who are listening to us live, we've got Mr. Farquhar on the line. I'll bring him into the video in just a second, only because I don't know how to do it with the countdown timer on. So, John, they can hear you though.
Hello, everybody.
As we watch, I don't know if you can see the timer, John, but we have a
I
minute
do.
30.
Yes, I do see the timer. Yep.
Oh, well, there you go. We have a minute 30 left to go. And of course, we have nobody watching yet because I've told everybody we go live at 1. So who would ever tune in to the two of us talking and chatting anyways? Hey,
Maybe our wives.
Yeah, we do have a viewer now, though. Mr. Viewer, you can say something to me in the chat and I'll give you a shout out. Have the golf courses opened yet, John?
Yes, actually, we just went by one today there. Or is it out by Thedford? And there was folks out there golfing already.
Really? I would like to go golfing a little bit more often this year.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I think I told you last year I made it to one whole golf game.
Is that what the one you and I did?
That was the one you and I did.
That's it. Yep. There you go. Yep.
That was it. One game. But it was a fun game.
Yep. It was. It was. Yeah, we'll have to get out with Randy this year.
Yeah, that would be fun. All right, we have just like 4 seconds left to go, so I'm going to hit this.
I've lost your voice.
John Farquhar. John,
Hello.
are you there?
I'm here.
And as everybody can see, John is doing this from his car, but he has a subject that he wants to address as only Mr. Farquhar from Summit Risk Solutions can. John,
Yep.
what is it about vehicle inspections that you wanted to talk about?
Well, it's one of your favorite words that you use quite frequently, and it's document.
Oh,
You know,
I thought it
document
started
the
with.
process.
I thought the word started with F. That was one of my favorite
Well,
words.
the word after that, yeah. So, but you know what? Thanks for having me on again, Chris. It was awesome. But you know, the topic is perfect, and I apologize for any lag that we have up here and where I'm at because the cell signal is run by squirrels, and it's raining, so the wheel's running a little slow today.
Yep.
But you know, one of the issues that we see, and you and I have found this before, but going out to see a customer, is the drivers are not thoroughly documenting their vehicle inspection reports. You know, they'll find a defect in the yard, but then take it to the mechanic to get it repaired, but they're not recording that defect on their DVIR. So this has an effect on the paper trail.
So, all right. So, in case people can't hear John, because you broke up just a little bit, he's talking about finding a defect during your vehicle inspection, because we know that you're doing a vehicle inspection, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then recording the defect. And what's the downside, John, if I've got a shop on the garage, if I have a shop in the yard and I do my vehicle inspection, I find a defect, I just simply take the truck over, the mechanic fixes it, and I say that my vehicle inspection is now clean. What's the problem with that?
Well, the problem is it doesn't thoroughly prove that you completed a proper vehicle inspection. In the event of a forensic audit from the lawyer's side, or in the event of a ministry audit, one of the things they look at is maintenance records. They want to know how well the vehicle is maintained. And if they find a document in the maintenance file of that vehicle that shows that this repair was completed at this date and this time, they go back another step and they start looking for the pre-trip inspection report to show did it note that defect. And if you go forward now and say we get stopped at a roadside inspection, we're now going to go back again and look at that pre-trip to see, did you record the defects that were found during the roadside inspection? And if you didn't, well, then you're causing problems with your documentation and you don't have a proper paper trail.
And I wonder if the people heard that clearly enough, John. You've mentioned two things now. You've mentioned documenting your vehicle inspection even when your own mechanic repairs it. And then you went to a scale inspection where the officer found a defect. Can you repeat that part?
Yep. So if the officer during his inspection, whichever level that he's doing, if he finds a defect on the vehicle, you're still required to record it on your vehicle inspection report. And unfortunately, drivers don't do this all the time.
You mean, John, I get a CVIR commercial vehicle inspection report from the scale officer. It's got a defect noted on it. Are you telling me I've got to put that same defect now on my vehicle inspection?
You do.
Oh my God. And of course, I'm playing with you because you know I know that stuff. But drivers don't.
Yeah.
Because I see it.
Well, sometimes it becomes laziness, right? You know, like they think, well, the officer found it. I've got a report for it. I don't have to record it. But the problem is, in an audit process, you know, whether you and I go in to audit somebody's records, whether it be enforcement officers, or God forbid, in the event of a lawsuit, the investigating attorney is going to be looking for these documents to know, was the paper trail complete from start to finish?
Yep. And it's real easy. I mean, there's a government piece of paper that makes it easy to easy to find, and if it's not properly documented, it's going to be troublesome.
Yep, exactly.
Is there anything else you want to mention about DVIRs, daily vehicle inspection reports?
You know what, I guess it's mostly the documentation. That's one of the biggest things I find, you know, and it's interesting from a tip perspective, and this could be for the driver or for the maintenance team, whoever's managing those documents. One of the easiest things to find out if you're doing it right or doing it wrong is to do what the MPO do. They walk in, they want to see a month's worth of vehicle inspection records, and they flip through them really quickly, you know, like doing that cartoon thing on the side of the page with your book, you know, and they're looking in that month of vehicle inspections for something to change. And if it never changes, it shows everything's A-OK every time, guaranteed they're going to take that truck and the driver and they're going to dig deeper.
Yeah. Hey, look, I want to change topics a little bit, if that's all you.
Sure.
How about ELDs, Canada? What have you heard lately?
Not much, to be honest with you. I'm watching the website like you are to see if there's been any devices listed on the Transport Canada website.
Did you check it today?
No, not today, sorry.
Oh, well, let me tell you, it's the same as when you last checked it.
Oh, okay. Blank.
Which is how many companies have their ELDs listed on the government website right now?
Yep. Nothing.
Nothing.
Zero.
Yep. Now, I have talked to 3 or 4 different manufacturers, and they've all assured me that they've submitted their devices.
Yep.
One was more than 6 weeks ago, and thought they had an indication that their device was going to be listed a week and a half ago.
Oh wow, okay.
Well, it's still not listed. So
I've also talked to a couple of manufacturers and the exact same wording that you're saying. So whether we've talked to the same people or not, but it seems to be the same message. Lots have submitted their devices to be quality reviewed, just not nothing's been listed yet. Nobody's been confirmed on anything.
yeah, and just a word for anybody that has an ELD already. If it's from a smaller or an American provider, I would be concerned whether they're going to submit. Only because I had an ELD manufacturer send me their invoice to show me what they paid for submission. And,
oh, wow.
I know Mike Millian from PMTC corrected me when I said I heard it was 20. Mike said it's more like 40. And I later used the 40 word or the 40 number, and I had a device manufacturer submit their invoice to me, and it was 60.
And that's per device.
Per device.
So some manufacturers have 4 and 5 device, models and whatnot.
Yep. Yeah,
wow.
I think you were on the same webinar I was on when Orbcom said they have 10 devices and they're going to be submitting the most recent 5, the ones that'll meet the Canadian mandate, they feel.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and that's why I say to people, make sure you've got a name brand device right at the moment, because they are more likely to get certified than a no-name device.
Yes.
Who have you heard? Are you able to say the names of the companies that have told you that they've submitted?
They're the big names. So your Isaacs, Trimble, PeopleNet, for crying out loud, Omnitrax. Sorry, just drawing a blank there. Omnitrax. I have heard that Big Road, which is through Fleet Complete, they're going to be submitting and expected to pass.
Right. I've heard Geotab has submitted. A company from a company from Abbotsford, BC called Hutch tell me they've submitted, and Keep Truckin' has told me as well that they've submitted. So a number of the big boys have submitted.
Yep.
Which, thank God. And let's hope some of them get approved. But let me just say to anybody who's watching this, nobody is yet approved. And you got to check the government website. And after John and I are done here, I'll put the link to the government website in the comments. So.
Well, and I understand that they can validate more than one device at a time. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw all of a sudden one name go up, and then the next day another name go up, and another name go up, and whatnot. They should go up pretty quick because they can do multiple devices at once.
Yeah.
They go different stages.
And I'm hoping, quite honestly, that they take a number of those who have submitted and post them at the same time, not to give somebody an unfair advantage necessarily. Although, hopefully many people have submitted.
Well, and I encourage motor carriers to be on that website, watch what's going on, have some serious conversations with your providers. And just because the provinces are now kind of saying we're going to do a soft enforcement, be careful. Don't take that as, I don't have to do anything for a year, I can wait. Don't do that, because that's only going to burn you quicker. If you're already running in the US and you've got an ELD provider and they're one of the big ones, get working on your stuff. Get those Canadian guys set up sooner than later.
Yeah, and I don't believe the soft enforcement. What I'm being told, and this is all rumor, is that it's going to be a staged soft enforcement.
Be a good way.
Well, Orbcom, I believe it was, I did a video last week on this, that they claim that it's going to be 3 months of soft enforcement, and then it's going to be stepped up. Mike Millian, again from PMTC, said that's inaccurate. His contacts at Transport Canada say they haven't established what soft enforcement means yet. So
Right.
there's lots of rumors.
Yeah. Well, there seems to be lots from provinces. Has there been an actual firm and formal word from Transport Canada themselves?
Yeah, I don't believe there's been, well, other than June the 12th is the drop dead date.
Right. Yep.
Ontario, from what I heard, has had 2 readings of their new bill putting ELDs into effect, and all they need is a 3rd reading, and then that will take effect, but nobody is saying when they're going to do the 3rd reading. So, interesting. Have you heard about any other provinces?
Quebec, I heard, was doing a soft enforcement, and I heard something about 12 months with those guys. And then somebody had said there was some provinces out west, but I never heard exactly who and what when.
Yeah. So, and just again for the listeners, a soft enforcement, as you might think, when you get pulled over at the side of a highway in Quebec or Ontario or Alberta, you are getting a ticket based on the Provincial Highway Traffic Act. So each province basically is going to have to establish their own, what they call soft enforcement, and that could vary dramatically, could potentially. Hopefully they all follow Transport Canada's lead.
Yeah, exactly.
John, we're just about out of time. I try to keep these down to about 15 minutes. What else do you want to say today?
I think I've said enough. I don't want to get too crazy.
Why would you change now?
It could carry on for hours. We know that.
Yeah. Well, here, just for you, I just want to put that truck out there. All right. So with that, John, then I'm going to end this live. I want to thank John Farquhar from Summit Risk Solutions for joining me today. And his message, if I can summarize it, is document your vehicle inspections. When you find a defect, make sure you document it, even though it might get repaired by your mechanic. If you find a vehicle if an inspector finds a vehicle inspection, document that. That is required by law. And check the ELD site for verified Canadian ELDs.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Perfect. John, I'll put your contact info in the show notes below. Thanks so much, buddy. Have a great rainy day.
Yes, it is. It is. Thanks again, Chris. Take care. We'll be talking soon, and we'll get that golf game booked up.
Hey, let's hope. All right. Talk to you later, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Bye-bye.